Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Todd, the Southern Sipper, coming to you again. I am finally back out here on the front porch. The weather this weekend has been nothing short of spectacular. Here in February, we're getting May type weather, and have been for the last few days. Mardi Gras is finally over, so life gets back to something approaching normal. However, I had some not some projects. The main project here at the house I'm working on, of course, is the wet bar. I'll put a link up here somewhere to that part one of that video. It's up if you got 15 minutes to spare, and when I say to spare, I mean nothing else in the world to do. Part one of that is up on the channel. Part two is upcoming. I poured the countertop this morning, so that and the polishing and that part of the affair will be up soon. I'm not planning on doing a part three, so because really it's just to set the countertop and get the faucet in, and that's it. I probably won't bother doing the shelving on the video. If I do, it'll be when everything's said and done. I'll do a quick and add it at the end. But anyway, back to the task at hand. If you're wondering what I'm waving around, this is a bottle opener I made. Used to be really pretty, but the weather has done a number on it. It's if you're from the South or you're familiar with what lighter is, or fat lighter, that sort of thing. I used to make bottle openers out of that years ago, but so that's how that goes. So much is in cans now. I don't make them as often as I once did. But today's beer is the Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale. This is another review brought to you by my friend at work, Earl. He brought this in. If this keeps up, I'm just gonna have to, Southern Sipper, sponsored by Earl Gochi. These guys from the Kentucky Brewing and Distilling in Lexington, established 1999, were somewhat of a pioneer in the whole barrel aging game. They were early on involved in it, when nobody was doing it. And those that were doing stouts. That was the popular one, was to barrel age stouts. And to that point, that's a combination that works. That flavor profile, a good stout and bourbon. I love them, but they are big. Now this one, obviously not a stout. This is a nice amber colored ale. So this is a pale amber, what have you, aged in bourbon barrels for some unspecified period of time. Generally speaking, they don't do it for very long. This is also one that when it came out, I was an enormous fan of. I drank a bunch of these back in the day. Kind of fell out of love with them for whatever reason. I think it was just because at the time I drank so many of them, and what happened was here in Mobile, it was right about the same time that we changed our ABV laws here. You couldn't get Jack Ola in this state. Hold on that thought. Okay, so I had to take an emergency call from work, so I'm going to be leaving here momentarily. Anyway, and then there was just so much new stuff rolling in that I got wrapped up in all that, and then I kind of pushed this to the side. So but this beer really is just delicious. I mean, a lot of these bourbon barrel aged beers are so big and so intimidating, and they're so, I mean, they're such an assault on your palate that they can be off-putting. Uh, this one, however, is not. This one is far more approachable, much more friendly and easy to drink. It is 8.2%, so you don't want to get yourself too carried away with them. It's never a good plan. Uh, it's just delicious though. It's a solid. I would call it an amber ale, and I love amber ales. Or even looking at the color, you could call that a red ale. Uh, and traditionally those are just fairly malty, not particularly heavy, and fairly lightly hopped. And that's what this is. It's malty, very lightly hopped, and just enough of that bourbon note in there that you know it's there, but it's not like kicking to the back of the head, kind of affair. So, I mean, this is a really nice, approachable barrel aged. Look, if you were, I would highly recommend this to anybody. Good grief, mosquitoes are already. Anybody looking to make that jump and want to try something barrel aged that has had maybe a bad experience with some of those that are so enormous. Those like a Russian Imperial that's been in a barrel is just, I love them, but you got to be prepared for them. But you can't drink very many of them. Look, I could drink a couple of these without a big worry. If I got into the third one, perhaps I'd need to be at home if I did it. That's just delicious. I think I'm glad Earl gave me this because I'm glad to revisit this. So this is one that I think I'll go pick up a few and put in the fridge and keep on hand because this is just great. Even if you're not experienced with bigger beers, this is one I would recommend to anyone looking to make that jump because while it is very flavorful, all the flavors present are friendly and approachable and pleasant. It's not bitter. It's not really boozy. It's none of that. This is done really well. So I think this is one that I would definitely tell anyone that just wants to give a beer that's a bit bolder a go. This is one that would be worth putting on that list. But I had to take a phone call. It was work. Good thing this is the first beer I've had today. I hadn't even finished it. I got to go to work here on a Sunday evening. Got a bit of a catastrophe down at the Mobile Botanical Gardens that demands my attention, which is unfortunately it's part of the gig. But anyway, I hope everybody had a good weekend, and if you participated in Mardi Gras, I hope you enjoyed the whole affair. It was great here in Mobile. We didn't have no issues other than outside of people being stupid, but it happens. Big crowds, lots of alcohol, other things, With all that being said, please like and subscribe. I forget that all the time. Please like and subscribe, maybe even comment, and please enjoy your adult malted beverages responsibly.